太凶了，跟网络出现的问题。
Join the raffles, try and help out and see what little goodies you can get there. Unfortunately, what was the name of the person that won?
XX Slayer 69 won the first week of the raffle. I've messaged him, haven't heard back, so we'll see what happens with all of that. You know, give him a bit of time. You know, don't always have time to stream Twitch streams every single day. Dota mousepad. It is enormous. Got a couple of posters. What else is there? To King, DPC, and 100 oh yeah, I call you a zoomer all the time. I am very much a zoomer. The late end of my 20s. This is not Spanish poster, but this is a Dota. And it is like the dire dude high school Dota poster.
tier 1, this will free up bot. So DB is freely going to be able to take the tower. Let's see what Army Geniuses want to do after they've taken that objective.
Vance had a decent time this top side, and at least you're going up against a right quicker in the Night Stalkers, so that's always going to be the case. But it's definitely going to be up to him to control the tempo for this next little bit. He's just rushing the phase because he knows that it's not going to be the power trends game for this Ursa just being able to sit back and farm. He needs to try and make something happen. Can he still go the Battle Fury? Probably, but I feel like we just need that transition up that's going to make something happen right now. And that heavy reliance on physical control as well, while dominating the prep of fire, but just being able to be really reliant on that to be able to save from the point of it's not going to have the damage. Van's going to be kind of careful with DB, not too much mana to continue. So, and this is Jewel, not going to tempo with that. Might have the fight breaker in the radio. He just used the dark ascension as well, so he's going to have to get out of dodge here, just play a little bit more passive for the next minute or so. Like this troll speed on this one, but it's not on every single hero in the past phase, but that'll be the case. You gets picked off though as he goes on a bit of a warding mission. They know they've got wards there now at least. But yeah, 8 charges on that drums really enables a lot of this early team fight to happen.
Yeah. I'm surprised we don't honestly see it as much as what we do. Excited to see how Mommy is able to utilize it throughout the early game fights. With the banishments, a nice setup here for the speed. Looks like we get the attribute shift off, and looks like Sigma just forces rotation. They got the 2 and
one of the big strengths of the Ursa, of course, having that enrage, so that even if you were trying to stun him, it doesn't really matter all that much. But you just saw the strength there of the Night Stalker, just being able to quickly get on top of the Shadow Demon. He popped the first charge of his Drum of Endurance. That's fine, considering you've got so many charges remaining, and it just makes the ST a complete non-factor in these fights.
Open, and James has got Blink now. So we'll see if they can get a nice little reveal here, and it's just going to continue to relieve the pressure. The fact that Ursa got the kill and a Bat's finally been able to get a little bit of farm. This broadsword's completed, 700, about to be 780 gold.
every time you two are getting rough, my mind just sounds like Shia LaBeouf. It says no, 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 no. Just no, 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 no. And every time I see him with you, my heart sounds like Shia LaBeouf too. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Like Shia LaBeouf, it says no, 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 no. Just no, 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 no. And every time I see him with you, my heart sounds like Shia LaBeouf too. No, 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 no. No, no. No, 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 Infinite power. Infinite power. Infinite power. Infinite power. Infinite power. Infinite power.
team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team pick. Radiant team pick. Dire team pick. Radiant team pick. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Radiant team pick. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Dire team pick. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Всем привет, дорогие друзья! С добрым утром вас! Рады приветствовать в студии Maincast. И мы начинаем трансляцию очередного дня DPC. И для вас работает друг Шторм. Привет, привет, еще раз привет. Здравствуй.
Да, привет, Дима. Всем доброго утра. У нас сразу же матч такой, знаешь, грандов второго дивизиона. Ну как грандов, Galaxy Racers, наверное, тяжело. У них, к слову, видимо, замена.
Угу.
Да, у них керри, их отсутствует, Гост. Играет,
Radiant
по-моему,
team
филиппинский игрок Ника, если я не ошибаюсь.
В этом дивизионе ты не должен ошибаться. Я наслышан уже. Ну, по драфту, собственно, вы видите все на ваших экранах. Templar Assassin, который открылась на второй пик от коллектива Омега Esports. Герой для Мака.
10 seconds remaining.
И по ангельерам все это дело закрывают.
На третью
5
позицию
seconds
для Бока.
remaining.
Так,
Ну
и
и-
сверху у нас остается, наверное, керри, да?
Похоже, да. Похоже, что первую позицию не добрали. Еще Ember Spirit вроде в мид будет. Night Stalker позиция 3. И керри-герой остался. Ну, надо с темпларкой справляться. Плюс-минус. Хочется, конечно, какой-то АОЕ урон помимо Ember Spirit увидеть периодически. С другой стороны, Night Stalker будет, Undying будет. Там будет чем пить.
Интересно, почему они Андайнга пикнули?
Что они хотели по линиям? Сейчас керри покажут, станет понятно.
Вообще два у нас таких саппорта интересных, Огр плюс Андайнг.
Ну, Undying очень сильно секьюрит линию, в принципе, да.
Да на
И-
самом деле как-то уже нет. Я как не замечаю, постоянно Андайнг на легкой
Now
линии,
select
даже если
your heroes.
против двух силовиков стоит милишников, все равно они линию проигрывают.
Mirana.
Night Stalker.
Ну, добирают в итоге Арквардена, игроки Galaxy RACER, и Alacrity будет исполнять на нем.
Что странно, кстати.
Центральная линия, да, и Ника пойдет в легкую линию. Ну, не захотели, видимо, против Темпларки ставить.
Хотя вроде Эмбер нормально стоит против Темпларки.
Ну, это какое-то извечное противостояние. Темпларка Эмбер, Эмбер Темпларка. У каждого свои плюсы, свои минусы. Ну и все всегда говорят, что вроде такой прям супер дефолтный матчап. С одной стороны. С другой стороны говорят, что, например, Пак и Эмбер тоже дефолтный матчап, а потом смотришь, и кто-нибудь раз и проигрывает на Паке.
Так там уже на скиллухе получается.
По-моему, с Темпларкой вот плюс-минус та же история. С одной стороны, у Эмбера есть щит, который сжигает рефракшн. С другой стороны, Темпларка имеет пси-блейды, которые хороши против милишника. Все вот эти тонкости как раз этот матчап формируют.
Какой тебе больше драфт нравится?
Но мне не нравится в целом все, что делает Galaxy Racer на этом турнире, поэтому не их драфт.
Это точно, да. Еще и замена.
Мгм. Драфт, который против них. Собственно, вот они, красавчики, Омега Esports. Они, по-моему, без поражений, да, идут в группу?
Да, да, 3-0. Мы их игру смотрели или позавчера? А мы, по-моему, вместе с тобой позавчера смотрели их игру.
Скорее всего, скорее всего. Я, честно говоря, такие вопросы стараюсь избегать. Я уже немного путаюсь, когда и что смотрел.
Мы смотрели Сакцдек и что-то еще. Да.
Угу. Так, ну и выходит на линию пока поставить Vision. Я вижу, что Омега Esports поставили уже вард на центральную линию. Они, по-моему, не спалились. Все это сделали под смоком. И Vision имеется. Куху показался тоже на линии на варде. Знают, что он здесь, но Сталкер без Vision с собой, поэтому Куху просто выходил. Имели полностью информацию, что у него там в инвентаре.
Так им еще играть не надоело.
Командам?
Киева XY я имею в виду.
Угу.
Он уже, сколько ему там, по 30, наверное, он всю жизнь в доте. Это последнее время не особо идет.
Ты просто описываешь, по-моему, меня сейчас. Последние пару месяцев не особо идет.
А что у тебя последние пару месяцев?
Минус 1350 ММБ
А, в этом плане.
за месяц.
Сколько? Как такое вообще возможно?
Возможно. Ты, главное, не калибруйся никогда. Когда лут-стрик ловишь, потом калибровку лучше.
Ate two of them before he'd taken any damage.
Oh yeah.
What? Why? You have a quelling blade. Like, if you needed to clear trees that badly, which he has been, just use that. You just wasted like 60 gold. What's going on, Tito?
What? I mean, he just wants to give them an advantage
A
here.
handicap. You
Yeah.
know? Galaxy, so they need the win. No, none of that. This is Malaysia versus Filipino Dota. You got some country pride on the line as well as. I mean, if Omega win this, I don't want to say it basically guarantees them that they're going to be, moving on to the upper division, but it has to be pretty damn close.
Yeah, because I mean, they're
3-6.
their last couple of series can be are difficult. Signal and also Army Geniuses. And then they've got a series versus Lilgun, so you've got to kind of think that the Lilgun might be a victory, but at least if you're versing Signal and Army Geniuses, who are both second and third at the moment, so definitely going to be a series to watch. But like you said, I mean, if you go 4-0, then and you got to keep in mind they'll probably beat Lilgun, so even if they lose those other two series 5-2, yeah, Omega looking, it's a good start for them at least. Well, this is a dope coddle set. What the hell? When was this introduced? Why haven't I not seen this?
Let me have a look.
That's so awesome.
I'm a coddle connoisseur, so King of Thieves.
He's balling out right now. So many cool cosmetics, and they brought some decent ones out as well with that Diatide. It was a little unfortunate. There you go. I haven't seen it too often, but I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Also a fan of the start from Nico, having a pretty good time at the moment here, up against the bid matchup. I wonder how Mac is still really going to be able to fare, because you can't really harass too much against the Ember because the Flame Guard, and once Nico gets a lot more points in it, yeah, you see he can just stand his ground, and like even that full Rocket Barrage already doesn't really bring the Flame Guard down.
Even just the attack range, right? Like, you're so short on a gyrocopter that the Flame Guard at radius is always going to be clicking onto you. And, we've got a bit more of a greedy style of Keeper of the Light. I feel like you inherently have to be, and at least Pango has some sort of escape mechanism. So, you know, they don't have the capabilities to kill him just yet. You know, you've got an Arc Ward, and you're always going to be able to reposition yourself. Bok is good enough of a player that he's not just going to let an easy death happen. I say that as they try and converge onto him.
It's the caster's curse. It didn't happen yet, but you know, it happens all too often when they just, you know, we say something good about them and then all of a sudden just it goes the complete opposite way. So a side lane TA, this is something that it's always felt like an issue with the Templar Assassin, because even if you have a bad matchup, if you put him in the side lane, it really feels like she does not lane well at all. And you know, that was kind of the case when we were seeing TAs get countered pretty heavily with like the RACER in particular, but you kind of just had to stand your ground and go farm the jungle. So how do you feel that Tino's going to fare? It's maybe a little bit different because it's a different patch, or is it still kind of the same side lane TA pretty rough?
You need levels, straight up. Like, yeah. TA is a farming core, and you know, it's going to be really on Mac to get active here. I think he's been playing fantastically for Omega Esports, you know, creating a ton of space, getting a lot of kills, not giving up too many deaths. So I'm interested to see what he's able to do, but as we've seen, Nico has been doing a good job in that mid lane to be able to counter out. Granted, it's still a pretty good lane matchup.
And it's nice as well because we see this combo pretty often, the Mirana and the Ember. Just the chains that got, you know, kind of the difference in it previously, that value point that you can have, just a 1.5 second stun is enough to set up for an arrow potentially. And you already see Destrus is mainly coming over just because of the power rune. He's also going to be able to get a stack as well, which is nice. But yeah, so Gyro's pretty squishy, and especially if they can land the chains into the arrow, then that's definitely a nice kill combo here that can come out.
Yeah, some decent movement speed, but it doesn't really matter when you're under the effect of those chains, of course. Pretty high armor though, so it's going to take a little bit to kill him, but a very subdued game. I think if you're Omega Esports, you'll be liking this, especially considering how Boomy is playing. You know, he's getting a lot of stacks off. He's making sure that he's being able to spam out these waves. Coddle basically turns into a position 3.5. He is not just a straight up support.
Well, they want to brawl right now. See the nice Tombstone deny, but Bok still hasn't popped the swashbuckle just yet. That Flux really bringing him down low. Boomy will at least still sit on the back and snag away the courier. They know they don't have any stuns, and with that high amount of movement speed that Boomy has, it's always going to make it difficult. You see though, like the teams making sure they kind of take an engagement right before the bounty, because even if they don't get a kill, as long as you bring them low as well, maybe there's a kill down bot.
Praying for luck, and he got it eventually. 4-3.
3-4-3 is out of mana now, so yeah, he's in trouble, and they'll miss out on the blast.
It's moving scarily close towards that. Oh, they're gonna get him. Yes.
Nice.
And that Spark Wraith nearly ended up getting him. He was hungry for that kill.
What is your kind of read on this game? Do you think, because it feels like Galaxy Racer want to play pretty slow just for the Arc Warden, and it looks like from a Mega, like when you have someone like a Templar Assassin as your position, well, I guess 2 position 1, whatever you want to say, you kind of have like this 17-minute window where you don't really do much. You want that Blink Desser and then you want to make plays. So do you think this early game is going to be pretty slow up to kind of the Night Stalker and the Ember to make the plays?
I think so, and well, Ember has made the play. Immediately gets the Invis rune, TP straight towards the top lane after shoving it in. Means that he's given up this double damage rune though, so Mac's going to be very happy to claim that one for himself.
Denied!
That's denied.
Just the mind games that come with it all.
You
You gotta be, like, Gyro has to go back to lane eventually to secure these creeps. So I think 3-4-3 probably could have waited the extra couple seconds.
Radiant structures are fortified.
But yeah, this is a lot of pressure. Double damage, she's creep. Nicely done to be able to arrow that one out though by Destrus. Previously CML in lane, he was doing a good job of throwing his big body in the way to make sure that all the range creeps were being caught out. 3-4-3, he's gonna suffer.
That's a lot of damage. He still gets the tombstone off and wastes a little bit of time here, so Mac's gonna get punished. And Destrus wants to jump on for more. They even got the rotation from KYXY, which is gonna net them a second kill in the mid lane. So even though 3-4-3 ended up falling, at least he took a decent amount of time for Galaxy Racer to bring the numbers, and well, it was a big kill finding that gyrocopter.
Yeah, for sure. Destrus even gets a little bit of regen as Nico comes back into the fight, and that's what you need to do as an Undying. You need to realize that you are pretty damn tanky, especially against these heroes that need to be right in on top of you to do any damage whatsoever.
Still kill for Alacrity. He's getting relatively close to that Midas as well. It's been a very good start for him throughout the laning stage so far, and a good start for Galaxy Racer. We see kind of the stand-in on Nico, and he's having a great team. Top of the net worth, and excited to see how the plays are going to continue to fare for him, because they are definitely lacking some form of control to deal with him. So just the constant pressure that the Ember can have, and you see they've even got a couple of stacks at the moment. Destrus might be able to make another one. Yeah, it looks like he will.
And they've even got, like I was mentioning before with this Coddle, look at all these stacks that are coming up here. It's clear that A, you either want to give him to Boomy so he gets a really fast Will-O-Wisp and becomes a lot more effective in these team fights. You know, Will-O-Wisp plus Call Down and Rolling Thunder, insane utility. But I think it's much more important to give it to Tino, considering, you know, like I mentioned before, farming core, it's a thing, and his stacks are going to be found alongside himself.
Yeah, this is kind of the issue now with the TA, is that the Ember can definitely make these plays at this stage in the game, whereas the Templar Assassin wants to be the one sitting back, and you know, you have so many ways to burn all that refraction, and you see there's just nothing you can really do it. And Nico with that ward, I mean, they're stalking their prey right now. We're even going to have another kill. Alacrity is just punishing Boomy from sitting down bot.
Fox going to be able to secure the Tempest double for himself though, so that's another 180 gold going his way. He's very happy about that. Honestly, I don't think that can be put on Mac, that you know, the plays weren't happening just yet. It was just a really nice smoke, and look at the great deep vision as well. Not just that high ground ward, but right underneath the tier 2 tower. It means that they know exactly where this TA is going to be at every single stage of the game. Not going to be able to scout out the fact that he's taking it right now though, so perhaps being a little bit too passive, especially considering it is nighttime and you want to be making absolute most use out of KYXY's Night Stalkeriness.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they want to try and smoke up down bot though. I mean, we've got the bounties coming through, the Night Stalker's got that Dark Ascension as well. At least be looking to make a play by the this next kind of 10-minute interval, and well, that ward by the tier 1 tower just scouts out, nicely played. And speaking about the chains into the arrow, just a nice little another pick off there for the boys.
Yeah, and I feel like this is how you're going to get the most done as a Mirana. You know, you need to be getting kills with a guaranteed setup. You can't just pick a Mirana first into every single game and just assume that it's going to do its job. They're going to be jumping in onto Tino again. He doesn't even have a point in the meld. He feels like it's pretty much useless considering all the detection they're probably going to have, but I mean, he's wrong. They didn't have any detection for him. He's going to be able to get away, though.
KYXY, let's see if he can fly away, though. It looks like the stun for the missile going to lock him in. Box even got the follow-up as well, so he has to pop the Rolling Thunder for that, but unfortunately means they won't be able to contest the bottom bounties here, so Dire will get away with that.
And that wasn't with any, you know, too heavy commitments with the ultimates. Like, sure, Rolling Thunder, but it's such a short cooldown that you're not really all that concerned about it. No Tombstone means on Galaxy RACER, they're not too concerned as well, but yeah, they're not going to be able to take full advantage of the fact that they had this siege creep pushing into the tower. They pop the Dark Ascension. That's the much bigger deal. Max getting gone on again.
He's in trouble here on the Dryer. A couple of rotations coming through for them. 343 is going to be able to drop the Tombstone as well. Up on the higher ground, Nico is A-OK without the stun, so he's even just going to TP out in the face and try and rejoin the fight with a quick remnant here, but Mac still able to keep his life. Even Alacrity's actually showing up as well, but Destrus is in trouble. That missile allows Bok to still follow up there with the maxed out homing missile. You see this stun duration, 3 seconds, it's a lot of damage as well, and you know, it's another good fight from Omega here. And now they're even going to try and net this into another tier 1 tower where we see Tino showing up, and well, this is what looks like the Deso completed, so TA has been farming up quite a storm here.
Doing exactly what they need to be able to create some space for her. Oh, here we go, they're popping all the big ultimates.
A nice wrap through as well. Boomy brings back the gyro, so he's full HP, full mana. 343 is going to pay the price here. At least the Ember's going to be able to get away, but they're still stalking their prey. Nico got one more remnant to be able to utilize. He does not have a TP, which is the big issue right now. Still trying to hunt him. Might even be able to get a kill on Bok. Unfortunately, the lucky shot's going to
Tino standing right underneath
minimize that. Oh, Tino is going to get the trap slow now with the arrow. He's all right. They saw the arrow flying through with that ward up by the triangle, but still, even then, Omega, they've done a very good job to be able to secure a net worth lead now in this game 1, and also get some very important towers. That's another thing.
For sure. I think with that attempted kill before onto to Mac in the mid lane, it would have probably gone their way, but 343 joined it a little bit too late. It felt like the Tombstone was kind of an afterthought that came through, which meant he was able to be cleaned up really quickly. It's, you know, just more free gold being pumped into their coffers, so it's just something gone begging, and you know, making a decision even 2 seconds too late can be such a big difference maker when it's this level of C Dota happening.
What's your opinion on the Gyrocopter build, going for the hood and the 4-staff? We've kind of been seeing this new difference in the gyro. Are you a fan of it?
I think it's okay. I think you just really need to be able to have some kind of defensive capabilities without going too early of a BKB. You need it for the, you know, probably your 4th item or so. He's getting recalled though, so it seems like they're pretty keen to make some stuff happen. Might just be farming though. 343
trying to wait for 343 to run up, but just that little bit of tree helping out with the fog, and Undying, if he was sticking where he was previously, would have been okay. And well, they're continuing forward. Boomy's got another TP and CML, KYXY. He does have the ultimate, so he might be forced to pop it, but they've even got the blinding light to push him back to the Ogre. CML closes the distance, and now the missile is going to be able to follow up as well with the Night Stalker. Will end up dropping here. The price to pay from staying a little bit too long.
So yeah, that'll be the 4-staff completed for the Gyrocopter as well. Do you go into the Hurricane Pike? It kind of feels like a bit of a luxury item, to be perfectly honest. I think he just needs damage right now. Not the TA that's going to be able to deal a lot of that, but at the end of the day, you are a core. You need to be able to be self-sufficient in a team fight.
Well, now Omega are going to be able to hit a very big timing here in the next couple of minutes. Once they get this Blink Deso, if they're going going to be able to take, you know, a pick off into Roche, and then with that, we're just going to see them continuously putting pressure on the map, and then it's really going to limit the space that the Arc Warden has. I mean, you see Alacrity has been farming nicely.
Smoke on smoke though.
Galaxy, they want to try and take the breakout here, Nico. Gotta be careful. He actually gets clipped, however, with the blade mail. It's at least gonna force him to stop right-clicking the Ember, but he still takes an immense amount of damage. CML will drop here, but Ember's in trouble. He's got a Remnant to be able to utilize. Hasn't disengaged just yet. Mac on the front line, so tanky, so survivable with these items so far. They've got the catch, however, on top of Alacrity, so they know where the real one is. Do they want to dive underneath the tower, though? It's going to be a little bit too far from them, and yeah, he'll pay the price. Without the Force Staff on the hood available, he already used that previously, so just a drawn-out fight there from the Gyro, not working in his favor.
Yeah, and that extra damage coming through from the Flesh Golem means that he goes down before the Pango is able to save. So some much better ability coordination coming through from Galaxy Racer that time around. Even just the Tombstone dropped right at the start of the fight in a pretty safe space. To the right of the staircase there, right on top of where this observer ward is. Yeah, I feel like that Force Staff is going to pay dividends for him. He needs to be able to, like I mentioned before, get out of the Searing Chains arrow combo. He needs to be able to get out of the Crippling Fear, even if it's just for a split second, you know, to be able to do anything that's going to deter a constant chase coming in onto him. Cooldown, you know, it's got a much longer cooldown now, so it hurts a little bit to pop it just as potentially an escape mechanism, but I feel like if you're getting chased as hard as Galaxy Racer have been focusing on Mac, it's kind of a necessity.
Radiant's bottom tower
Doing a good job
even got
on some of these stacks though.
Radiant do see this though with that ward. It's a nice little spot for the position. They're converging on this fight, but they've always got this +1 effect thanks to the Coddle if he's inside the area. Now Bok, yeah, coming with the reinforcements. Tina's going to be able to blink on forward. Nico protected with the Flame Guard, so it's going to stop all the extra magical damage, but they still get him on top of the back. The wrap from Mac is going to enable that, and it looks like 343 is in trouble as well. They'll find 2 here, and that's right underneath the tier 2 tower, so Mega going to be able to link that up with an objective.
Nicely done. What's Coddle got coming out to him? So he's got a Force Staff as well. It seems like Force Staff gaming is the name of the play. I get it. You know, it might feel really nice to go for the Aghanim Scepter, but mentioned before, it's just such a value item.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
All right, 17-minute mark. What are we going on here? Might have overstayed their welcome a little bit here. If they can get Tino, this would be a huge kill, but that refraction just enables him to get the blink off.
Yeah, the force as well from the Gyro. He used it defensively on top of his teammate there, so it just allows TA for the refraction not to get burnt. Once again, Boomy's already got his force picked up, so CML is able to get away. Look at these, just the mobility they have coming through with the defensive items makes it very difficult, and Radiant, they're also lacking kind of the stuns as well, so very nicely done with them with this itemization. And it's getting to the stage where even though it's a 2,000 net worth lead, yes, Alacrity's been farming very nicely, but the Arc Warden isn't at a stage where he feels overly confident to be fighting. And I'm worried that if Omega, you know, through this next daytime, I think if they can smoke, get a pick off, and then go into Roche, maybe if they get a pick off now before it's even daytime and get that Aegis, then it's really just going to further enable them to be able to find all these outer towers and then limit the farm that Galaxy have, because then you're going to have to put all your net worth on top of your Gyro, and it means that the Nico's going to fall off, then the Night Stalker's going to fall off as well.
Well, you spoke about Roche. That's the objective #1 that Omega have highlighted, but you know, they've still got a few minutes of night time, so they want to make sure they can take full advantage of it here on Galaxy Racer. Them to back off, but it's a smoke being pushed into them. Max under the Invis runes, so he's going to be revealed first.
They struggle to start, that's the issue. Yes, you could put Mac on the front line, but no real way to blink stun to initiate without the blink right now on box. So you see Mac already having to use that Force Staff on CML. They weren't able to D-ward up on the high gun as they walked up, so Radiant still have this area under control. At least Tino got some traps set up.
It's a game of chicken right now.
Who commits too far? Who runs down to a choke point?
Like, it's all about right now just avoiding this Night Stalker. They've even given the bullwhip over to the gyrocopter just for that little bit of extra movement speed. Obviously realizing the strengths of the draft. 40 seconds left of nighttime, and you've got the Dark Ascension on top of that. So you talk about these drawn out team fights. If he's able to get it right at the perfect spot, probably around this this bounty rune timing, to be perfectly honest, is when they're going to try and make something happen here on Galaxy Racer. I'm a little surprised though that they didn't attempt a take on the tier 1 top tower if you're on Omega Esports side. Yes, you're against an Arc Warden, but he's not really going to care all that much about a tier 1 tower. It doesn't result in anything major. Well, we're going to get people running into each other. Boomy's in a little bit of trouble. How many more stuff they got?
He needs to be able to send back the Gyro here. It looks like Gyro's actually just going to have to force a TP. There we go. Finally brought in thanks to the Coddle. And now KYSY is actually going to have to retreat away. Bok with that Rolling Thunder trying to disrupt the backline here. But 343's already been able to drop the Tombstone. They've done a very good job of being able to deal with that. And looks like there's no real follow-up at the moment for Nico. So he's actually going to have to disengage. Tino assassinates the Undying on top of the backline. But you see the lack of stuns. They're still jumping forward for more though. Nico, he doesn't have any remnants available though. Still they'll turn arrow clips on top of the Templar Assassin. Now they're still in trouble as Omega, even with the lack of stuns, they just move so incredibly fast. They close the distance on the Ember, get 3 kills, and that should be into Roche.
It should definitely. Even the aggressive 4-star forward by Boomy, make sure that he catches him with that Solar Bind. A really good item when you've got heroes like the Gyrocopter on your side, just for the magic damage increase with the magic resistance reduction there. Especially in the Night Stalker as well, you know, they're slow per 100 units. He's heavily reliant on that mobility, but if you just take that away from him and make it work against him, you're laughing.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And now how do you contest this if you're Radiant? I mean, you don't have Dark Ascension for this daytime fight, and it just seems pretty free from Dire. It's going to mean, I imagine we see them wait a little bit, allow Tino to get the BKB. You know, Gyro is going to be pretty close to that next set of items as well. He's going for the E-Blade, so you think maybe farming for a minute or 2 here, and then we'll see some of the lanes start to get shoved out.
Tower is under attack.
They're actually smoking up, so they're not even having any time at the moment. I'm going to try and find a pick-off. I do see Destrus on top of the mid wave here. It's going to be a little bit difficult. Maybe they can burst him down with the Tino jump. He's got some leap charges.
Oh, they chased him down. Pretty...
Well, he's got nowhere to go now. He hasn't TP'd yet, so he's ultra dead.
His only chance really there, assuming they... you know, had the dust, was just to run into the trees and hope that he was able to juke him out. But with it being daytime, obviously much less of that potential to happen. Just more recalls happening with this Coddle. Why not? They're just going for kill on kill on kill. You've got the Eagle Song now on Mac. They might think, oh, okay, he's going into the Butterfly. But if you're a fan of any Oz Dota streamers, this is the King of the Gorgonites magic Gyrocopter that we've got coming out here.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
See that net worth disparity really starting to come through from Galaxy Racer, where it's all in on the Arc Warden. And well, do you think this game Alacrity is going to be able to do it for them?
For me, it's all just going to come down to these team fights around the high ground, right? If they're able to get a couple of pickoffs beforehand, if they don't have buyback saved, you're screwed, because an Arc Warden, yes, you're very strong at defending, you know, pretty self-sufficiently, but you do need the backup. They do have the capabilities to just jump in onto the back lines and deal with you that way.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
He's got the Gleipnir finished up though. Lots of burst damage, lots of lockdown. I like it, especially against the likes of these very fast heroes that we've been seeing. The Keeper of the Light, the Gyrocopter, even Pangu if you're able to catch him before the Rolling Thunder goes off. But even then, he's got the Yule Scepter available.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Yeah, we've
attack.
even seen what these you know, positioning-based items have been able to help out with the Force. So it feels like the Gleipnir is at least going to stop kind of the onslaught when they're getting aggressive, but to help out with kind of the lockdown for the catch, it's going to get dealt with pretty easily with the Force and the Ewers as well, like you highlighted. And, well, there we go. Tino, BKB, Gyro's been able to pick up the Ethereal Blade, and you know, they're just going from lane to lane, tower to tower. Tier 2 bot and mid's being claimed, and they want the remaining one up top now. Destrus, unfortunate. Tried to TP this time, but Bok was able to close the distance and find exactly where he was. So I guess if the Mirana is the only one to die there, you'd feel okay considering the rest of the team are able to get out, and she's only dead for 30 seconds.
I feel like she kind of came to to help the Ember Spirit out anyway, and he didn't really need it. So it's a little bit of an unfortunate death coming through there. But yeah, I think this BKB absolutely needs to be finished up by Nico before Smart Omega are in a position to be able to push forward into the high ground. And I mean, they've only got a minute and a half left on their Aegis. They'll want to be making a play right about now.
Man, they are just continuously running at Galaxy Racer. There's nowhere to hide. You see the advantage that they have, you know, the traps vision, the constant threat. They've had some very good information coming through from their deep wards, and Coddle is just going from bot to top, and just constantly being this nuisance with the TP effect as well. I love how they're utilizing Boomy's hero.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just the use of the Solar Bind. I feel like the real thing that's brought Keeper of the Light back into the meta is that relocate. You know, it's only on a 15-second cooldown, which is insane, to be perfectly honest. Like, sure, you can't use it pre-ultimate, but still, it's so impactful. And, I mean, you can see how effective that factor of a hero is when a hero like Chen is basically unpickable anymore because he just doesn't have that ability.
Oh, TA got the Aghanim shard. Interesting.
Yeah. Silence, always good. You know, being able to catch out something like an Ember Spirit pre-BKB. He should be able to secure this wave, though, and that should get him very, very close towards finishing it up, only 100 gold away. But speaking of Ag shards, you've also got... did he go for something first? Yeah, on the Gyrocopter, he went for the Boots of Travel first, but he's got that Ag shard afterwards. Which is going to be pretty nice. I mean, even if you do pop that BKB on a lot of these cores, as long as you're in the middle of a team fight, someone else is getting hit. So even though it might not be your priority target, it's some good overall damage increase.
Great positioning from Mac as well. He's going to be able to pop the smoke here. And once again, they got a really nice lane ward. So Omega feel kind of comfortable with being able to take this fight in the area. But it looks like Radiant. Yeah, they still want to go. They're actually going to jump the backline. Tino deals with a Tempest double instantly. KYXY wants to cancel out the Coddle effect here. But Coddle, he's protected. Coming through from the Gyrocopter. It's still Boomy without the Force Staff. Nico and the Night Stalker's going to be able to deal with you. But it looks like Bok now up the high ground. They go with the Rolling Thunder. Going to try and close the distance on the Ember. But unfortunately, without a stun to set up, Bok's going to try and go for the Rolling Thunder. TP out. He'll make it. But will the rest of Omega? Yeah, they're pretty speedy. They're okay.
Yeah, just wanting to make that last play around their Aegis timing, but yeah, that's a BKB revealed on a few of these heroes, and KYXY, importantly, he's the one that really needs to have it picked up on himself. I think it was a small misplay coming through from Boomy there, not using the Solar Bind as he was trying to chase him down, but yeah, it happens. In the middle of a team fight at night time, he's got the movement speed for it.
Oh, they're going to be careful. Tino no BKB is actually in trouble here. The chain sets up for the arrow. Even though Mac's going to be able to deal with the Mirana on the backline, they get a massive kill, finding the TA at the weakest stage without the BKB there.
Big kill. I mean, this is what we need. We were talking before. It's like when they try and start to move in onto this high ground area, that's what's going to be able to punish them. You know, the lack of vision, the obviously inherent strengths of having an Arc Warden on your side, and it's nighttime. So, you know, thinking maybe they were wanting to go a little bit too aggressively, thinking, well, they don't have BKBs just yet. Now's our perfect time to be able to try and make something happen, especially with this magic gyro. Got a Tempest double again. Got the Midas off though. He's fine with it.
Quiet's magic.
Yeah, just picked up the BKB. So with all the kind of abilities that Omega can chuck down and forcibly remove him from that bubble with the cooldown, you know, the Will-O-Wisp is almost picked up here. You got the ultimate as well from the Pangolier. At least that BKB is going to allow Alacrity to stand his ground for a couple extra seconds, but at least we've also seen the BKB from Nico have a pretty big impact, just allowing him to be able to play more aggressive. And that's exactly what you want when you're in an Arc Warden lineup. You need to kind of curate the space and then allow Alacrity just to go to work.
Yeah, for sure. And Nico, he's finally finished up, sorry, the KYXY has finished up his BKB. They're really enabled though on Smart Omega's side with the positioning of these Observer wards. You know, a little unorthodox one in the top side as well as bottom, right around the same area where the tier 2 towers used to be. I mean, can't think of the last time I dewarded this kind of area.
Nico is alright.
He was hit by the dust, but as long as he doesn't reveal himself, he should be just fine.
They're doing a very good job at hunting this Tempest double, and this is also just the constant movement that we're seeing from Omega from lane to lane. It looks like Alacrity's double will just scurry away, but maybe Bok? No, a little bit too late. But look,
Nice
I mean,
try.
they forced them top, and now they're wrapping mid. Destrous, the trap with the silence here, and Max just able to stand his ground with the Rocket Barrage. Seeing this Aghanim shard, oh, that's a big choreo.
Big. Is he going to be able to get the Ag shot as well? That would be huge. No, I think you're pretty happy with just taking away the Will-O-Wisp. Well, that's gonna. I mean, it's a bit of a blessing and a curse. You know, it means that they're not going to get too aggressive. But Roche is going to be up in a minute 45. You've got about 30 seconds where your courier's still going to be on the sidelines there. If they caught out here, it's 3-4-3. Pops the tombstone.
Mac, he's very far away from the rest of the team. He's got to be careful here. He's even going to pop the Shroud, but it's not enough. The magic damage, they still go through him. And once again, you see Omega pushing it a little bit too far with the help of the rest of the team, and now they're going to have to disengage. Galaxy Racer, what more can they get? Hunting through Dark Ascension, use about half the duration here. They don't have any vision up on the high ground, so they do have to be careful how far they want to push their advantage. Another Tempest double is going to get fed over as well.
Feeling very confident now that they are actually grouped together on Omega Esports side. Boomy nowhere near that fight. Mac just diving in on his own, and you know, I can maybe understand if he had a BKB or something else that's just going to enable his high movement so much. Man, he's even picked up that ceremonial robe. He's going all in on this magic with very little regard for his own safety.
That extra direction, we already see how much damage he can dish out at the moment. Do you feel like this magic damage gyro though, if this does go ultra late where Galaxy wanting to go for the Arc Warden, do we feel that the gyro might start to fall off a little bit with this build?
Not necessarily, right? Like, I feel like now is around the time that it does start to fall off when you've got those high duration BKBs. But when they get a lot lower again, you're going to have a lot better time. Like, you can see, he's just gone all in onto this Rocket Barrage damage. He's got the talent for it. He's reduced the cooldown of his cooldown. He's got the Ag Shard completed up now. Are there any decent neutral items for a magic damage gyro? I mean, he had the ceremonial robe. He's bringing out the Titan Slippers, so he wants some kind of, you know, inherent tankiness.
We'll see how important the choke points are at the moment as well. Just the constant Radiant. Well aware that Roche is going to be up relatively shortly, so they're just making sure they continue to control the triangle in case a fight breaks out. Because if you don't have this area, then you give up Roche for free. And it looks like regardless, Roche is falling pretty low. Yeah, you're going to have to do something here, but Radiant without a way to start, and actually the Night Stalker box sets up with Yule, so KYXY has to pop the BKB pretty early. They try and steal the Aegis on top of the Ember, but he won't be successful. Now Nico's going to be careful as well, because Bok, a perfect chain lockdown here, gonna take the Ember out of the team fight. He's actually going to have to try and TP back to base, but no one's died just yet on Galaxy Racer. KYXY, however, the ultimate's about to expire. They're continuing forward. Nico back in, he goes with the BKB. Max going to get caught out. The arrows in the mark. He's got the Aegis, however, but they haven't been able to get on top of Alacrity, and Alacrity still has the BKB, so they're going to look to turn. Mac now is in trouble as well with Change Force. Close the distance. Cena's going to try and jump the Arc Warden. Alacrity, can he get himself away? However, the damage coming through for the TA is going to be a little bit too much here. No, just scurries himself some distance, but Tino's still hunting. Without the blink available to close the distance, has to pop the cheese, but the chain sets up for the arrow once again. Destrous and Nico going toe-to-toe. They're going to be able to do it successfully. Max back in as well, but he will at least find an extra on top of the Ember. Chucks out the E-Blade, but the Alacrity is going to be able to play with the Tempest double. No more you can go on top of the gyro. A triple as he dies, but Omega, they have to pop the cheese. They have to use the Aegis there as well.
I mean, you get a lot of kills. It's the cost of your cause, though, and importantly, Arc Warden's still yet to die. So I mentioned before, Alacrity, it feels a little disappointing that he's not able to play his Ember Spirit. He is putting in the work on this Arc Warden. He had a bit of a rougher time in the laning stage, but not with his positioning, that's for sure.
You see, if they don't jump Alacrity at the start of the fight, the emphasis was coming through towards the end from TA, but that feels like exactly what they need to do. Like the Rolling Thunder at the very start were used predominantly to deal with the Ember, but there wasn't any follow-up. Looks like TA was going on a support or someone else at the start. So the Rolling Thunder was nulled out, Ember just tanked all that up, and then they didn't jump Alacrity till a good chunk into that team fight there.
I mean, his team is doing a fantastic job at just creating space for him. Even someone like Destrus is... it's unfortunate as a Marana, you've got a decent amount of lockdown for him, but you just need to throw the body in the way. The Arc Warden is your win condition this game.
Dire are scanning.
Actually going into the Nullifier on the Night Stalker. That'll be nice to be able to deal with all this 4-star save. Eventually, if they do look to go into any kind of, defensive capabilities, you've got the Ethereal Blade as well. So if he's a little bit worried about the right-click damage that might be coming up from the Arc Warden and wants to save himself, not going to be a factor.
Dire. 343's in a pretty good spot with the Observe Ward there. So we'll drop the Tomb on the high ground. They melt through him instantly, but at least he got the Tombstone off. They drop the Ignis on top of the backline. Galaxy Racer, can they push past it though? KOXY popping the BKB, just going to result in finding Bok, but it looks like still Mac Destrus pays the price there. Unfortunately, but the mech burst heal is not enough. They get that TP as well. So it's a 1 for 2. A couple of BKBs forced out there too. It's starting to get a little bit lower here.
Able to just get himself away. Get that kill though is just getting closer and closer to this ticking time bomb of the level 25 on the Arc Warden. And you would think he's going to go the Tempest double duration just so it has that 100% uptime. And yeah, good luck dealing with all your lanes being shoved in. Although the fact that they've only lost two towers so far on the Dire side, pretty damn impressive. Like you would think that mid tier 1 would be priority number 1 to go down, and it only just falls. You're gonna have to deal with this double siege creep wave though. He's got the Keeper coming through. He's just gonna throw one blast there while he's in ultimate form and scurry back to the rest of his team. And oh, they get the double damage. Like this is everything is happening perfectly for what Omega want right now. They're calling in the Pango. Oh, no, actually they call in Tino on top of this.
Similar spot to last time, and Radiant, the reinforcements are coming over. Tino's got a DD in the bottle. If they can kite the fight away, nice Ignis in the choke point.
Nice.
Bok's going to be able to counter up as well, but you accept the Rolling Thunder, but he's not really getting any stun lockdown. Nico's going to jump in forward. They haven't been able to find Alacrity as well. Protects himself with the BKB, and now with the Skadi slow as well with the Gleipnir follow-up, they will not be able to survive this, but still we see KYXY jumping on top of the back here. So 3 down from Omega, and they got to be careful because Galaxy Racer are pushing forward for more. We're just seeing when Galaxy, I mean, going on top of 343, he's got a Ghost Scepter, he's dropping the Tombstone, and then Radiant are the ones that are getting some very important kills on the supports to start.
And so something like that Nullifier for your own team is very important, or what this TA is going in the Scythe of Vice. That's totally okay as well. It's just all dependent on that instant pick-off though. I thought that time Bok's positioning was alright, you know, he got the Rolling Thunder right in the middle of a team fight, but as soon as that Arc Warden pops the BKB, it is a pretty big deal that Alacrity was forced to use it, especially when you're coming up against this this Magic Gyro lineup. He just stayed in there for way too long, and Arc Warden, all he did was, he's like, okay, you're rolling around while I'm in a BKB, I'm just going to right-click you to death. And yeah, he definitely paid the price for it when he had the capabilities to get out of the team fight with the shield crash over the ledge.
Just another item here. I really like the itemization from Nico. You know, hasn't been getting a lot of farm, but it feels like his net worth is still having a lot of impact. You know, he's, what is he currently? 5, 4, and 14. The Blade Mail, BKB, and the Aghanim's recognizing that his game is not really to dish out too much damage. It's to cause the chaos, make the space for the Arc Warden, keep Alacrity alive. And we're just seeing as well, another thing is the vision game. They're constantly the past 2 previous fights have been down bot where Radiant had that Observe Ward control.
Oh, they're going
Once
in.
again, we're going to see the vision come through. This is to jump on the Coddle. That's such an incredibly important target. If they can bring down Boombi before the Will-O-Wisp, they're going to be able to do so successfully. Now up on the high ground they go. Mac's going to be careful. careful. The Rolling Thunder through. Nico with the blink back once again, actually going to be able to bring him down here. Now looks like the Night Stalker's going to have to fly himself away. Radiant still inside the vicinity. Now they're on the enemy sides of the map here, so they've got to be careful. It's not really a choke point that they want to position. Looks like Alacrity just has to BKB into TP out. And that's kind of what happens when you get a little bit too over antsy and you take a fight on the enemy side of the map where the Arc Warden doesn't have as much space to kind of play around. If you commit too far, then to disengage, it's very difficult.
I mean, I was about to say before that fight started when I saw that they'd picked up the BKB here on... sorry, not picked up the BKB, they picked up the Stormcrafter on Nico. It's like, well, now you can rely much more on your mechanical skills to be able to, you know, bring you through this game. And we saw there that he didn't use either. He had the Stormcrafter available for the entire time. He didn't use his BKB, so he was just completely susceptible to the high damage coming through. And a lot of the credit for that has to go to Bok from being able to lock him down 100%. Now he's got the Blink Dagger, he's got the Yule Scepter, so he's just standing right on top of these heroes that rely pretty heavily on the mobility in the Night Stalker, in the Ember Spirit. He's going into the Lotus Orb next. I would nearly consider the Ag Shard on the Pango right now. The roll-up is really effective, again, if you're just playing that disruptive kind of role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is, it feels like Bok is, that's entirely the Pango's game right now. It's just get in, disrupt them, do whatever you can, just allow the damage to come through from the TA and the Gyro as well. As, you know, we're seeing that, but a nice fight from Omega kind of minimalizes the momentum that we saw was starting to be built up here for Galaxy Racer.
They did use another BKB charge though on the Arc Warden, so it's down to 7 seconds, and you've got the BKB freshly picked up on Mac here.
Hex also completed, so yeah, getting some items is dire, but we're still continuing to see this massive net worth disparison from Galaxy Racer, where the Arc Warden is so far ahead, a flawless game so far from Alacrity, but can that continue on the Arc Warden?
Even the game doesn't know what's going to be happening here. It's sitting basically dead on the 50% win rate probability.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Oh, people found out.
Ooh, Tino just assassinates. But the Hex gets so much easier. You got level 25 as well. So yeah, Meld Hit Bash, and now you're kind of extra lockdown. Ember's going to be really careful. Once it gets to this stage in the game, usually Ember throughout, you know, the early and the mid game can be pretty nice versus the TA, but now this is a hero that has an immense amount of damage and does also get some nice single target lockdown. So Ember's going to be pretty aware.
I mean, you find literally anyone right now with this TA as soon as she picks up that Swift Blink, and they're just done for. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing you can do to save yourselves. You've got the Melt Hit Bash, you've got the Scythe of Vice. It's just so much damage to be able to force out onto the enemy team, and without too much that they can do about it. We've got an Ag Scepter as well on this Roche. I wonder who's going to be picking it up here. I don't think it's too important to have the Sonic Projection. Maybe just another stun for CML here might be the go. Yeah,
CML picks it up. There we go. Nice.
Support lives matter, you know.
You gotta love it. Both supports got an Ags now. Radiant might be able to find Mac. He doesn't have the Aegis or the Keys. They're wrapping through behind, so Mac's not grouped up with them at the moment. Bok's been such an important hero through these team fights. Jules sets up for the arrow. A force off gonna at least give him a little bit better position now, but the Ignis is a beautiful spot. Look at him go to work, but Tino, the damage actually isn't there at the moment. The force still able to disengage them with the BKBs as well. They're trying to deal with the Tempest double. It's a 1 for 2, still continuing through the team fight. Radiant, they've been able to reset. Tino falling incredibly low. Can they deal with him? Still the Tombstone on the high ground as well. Look at this choke point fight go to work. Nico stunned up thanks to the fresh Aghanim's picked up here. Let's see if he's going to be able to disengage with the remnant back off the high ground. However, they found the real Alacrity. He's in trouble, gets a force stun down, pops the BKB. Patino wants to stand his ground, protecting the bubble, but the back live with the buybacks. Nico in, he goes straight on top of the Templar Assassin. The BKB's about to splash. The team's going to be careful. Look at the sky, it's just completely hiding. Blue force stun back in. Alacrity is directly on top of the Max, just shredding them apart. The damage, this rocket barrage. Mac goes to work. Ember down for 120. Galaxy forcing an immense amount of buybacks. Arc Warden's got one, but you're going to have to defend your high ground here. Max wants more blood as well. Look at him go. This magic damage built on the gyro. Level 28, but has he gone a little bit too far here? He's got to be careful. Alacrity is able to siege on top of the back. You can't dive on deep the tier 4 towers. A beautiful defensive will-o-wisp, but is it enough? Still the Scarlet slow. Mac just alive, but they find him. Gyro pays the price. You can't go that deep.
Oh, that 4-star, if it was by Boomy, they were trying to assume that he was just going to turn around and just book it out of there, but turns back for a split second to get off the homing missile and actually ends up forcing him further into the Radiant base. So, some unfortunate misplays coming through there. But man, that's the first death on this Arc Warden. If it bleeds, it can die.
We've seen it happen. Unfortunately, maybe Boomy might die here.
Oh,
blinding light.
Blind. Oh, no.
Spark Wraith.
Not the spark.
No, he juked it. Alacrity.
Run away.
Ooh, 2 seconds.
No,
1
run
second.
into
No,
the
he showed. Give us a heart attack. Jesus, don't want to be doing that.
Well, you have to be feeling pretty good on a regular esports side. I mean, the net worth is just continuing to crawl in their favor. I feel like it was only a couple of minutes ago that it was sitting at 10k. Now it's 25. Big part of that has to go to the dieback coming through there on the Ember Spirit, which means that even this Pangolier is ahead now on net worth. Oh, and I'm kind of liking this, going into the Abyssal Blade. So not just for, of course, being able to pick people off, it's a BKB Pierce as well, really nice. It means that you can kite out somewhat these Ghost Scepters that are being used, even though, you know, maybe the Nullifier is still a really good item for them to be picking up here. But even on top of that, it's just about the mobility, right? You just need to be able to get out of some of these silences so that you can get your ultimate off and actually have that big impact. I mean,
Yeah, we've
Trickster
seen...
Cloak. I haven't seen him use it yet, though.
Interesting. At least the evasion and magic resistance, and just making sure, like you said, it's so important to get that Rolling Thunder off. Like, we've seen the impact of how much chaos it can create in these fights, and for Radiant though, I don't think they can leave this high ground. You either need to protect your wards, sit on around there, or just sit up on your high ground inside the base. One or the other. Because you need to really be able to protect Alacrity. But even then, like, I have very, very good choke point fighting as well. Like, you drop the Ignis, you drop the core down, you've got the Rolling Thunder from the Pango. So it just... Radiant, they need to make sure they get set up in a fight and use their vision advantage. So it's very difficult for Dire to be able to find exactly where the Arc Warden is. And that's then going to enable them to find these key targets.
I wonder what's going to be the next, you know, few big things to come out. We're seeing a lot of these upgraded Blink Daggers this game. The Arcane Blink is what's next on the menu for Max Gyro. I understand it, you know, a little bit more of that mobility. I'm not sure what he drops, though, to be able to use it.
Do you get rid of the Eternal Shroud if you got a BKB?
Ugh, such a good item.
Yeah, like, I don't know, yeah. Man, Alacrity starting, might be able to get a kill, yeah, he will. That's a dieback, I think, on Ogre. Might even be able to find Boomy. If he gets another support kill, yeah, Boomy, this Spark Wraith should be able to find the connection. He gets a double, and that's a gem dropped. You see the tips coming out. Alacrity doing a lot of work right now. That nice little neutral item with the leveler.
I'm going to need one of these couriers to go out and try and fetch this gem. And what is a cheese doing in the base? Why has a cheese not been used in that previous team fight? Well,
alright, Box got the gem. Nice.
Sure.
They're coming out the base though. Those are two nice pickoffs to at least be able to get some deep vision down, it looks like. 343's got a ward. They even have their own gem as well in the Mirana.
Radiant are scanning.
Regeneration.
Tino. Uh-oh, on the low ground. Tino, they're going to jump instantly now. Pops the BKB. Is going to be able to get it under and try and disengage. His AOK. Mac, though, reveals himself as well. They force out the BKB from Mac.
Is under attack.
So the in and the out. Maybe they get a tier 2 tower. They're not even going to try and do that.
Going to be able to deal with the Tempest Double nicely. I think it's not quite as big of a deal now that he's level 25 and he has the reduced cooldown on the Dark Ascension, but I think he probably could have gotten away with not having to pop that to try and take down this TA. As soon as that nullifier connected onto her, she was scared.
The tomb's dropped, instantly gonna jump the background here. They know the BKB's not available here. Templar Assassin just gonna get melted, has a buyback, but a Mac on the front line as well. BKB TP out. But just to poke and prod enabled them before. Now Brock's going to be careful as well. He's actually going to get caught with the jump. Alacrity holds him in with Gleipnir, and Nico's got the follow-up. So Omega Esports, those pickoffs on the supports, enables Galaxy Racer to poke and prod that BKB from TA.
It's a mad
Then they
dash
get
with a
two
courier
big kills.
the gem as well. All three. They finally did pick it up. Bit of a race going on there, but we ended up winning it.
Dire's middle tower.
Was it the squid? I feel like it was the squid. Or the... Oh, that 7-leg spider. I hate it.
Oh, not another support. At least CML's got the flicker now. Might be a little bit nice to get away from this aggressive Tempest double. Still continuing to feed a lot of gold away. This is a thing we've seen so far in this game.
Double damage. Bottom side.
Uh-oh.
He ends up picking it up on Nico. Sure. But you can just see with his item build going into the refresher next. He just wants to be able to have that secondary charge of the BKB so he can just be on the front lines. Like now, you've got a much higher right-click threat on the Night Stalker. Yeah, you've got the Dark Ascension instead of the Hunter and the Night attack speed, but when you've got Nullifier and Solar Crest, it doesn't really matter.
Looks like he's also building into the Overwhelming Blink, something that we don't really see too often.
I think it's totally cool on a Night Stalker. You know, if you can, it's a couple of things. Either A, they're stuck within your crippling fear and they're silenced for 7 seconds, or they're forced to pop a super early BKB, which isn't ideal at this late game as well. Pretty long Roshan respawn time though, so Galaxy Racer, things not going in their favor in that regard. I think we've got an Abyssal. They've got the money for the Abyssal on the Pangolier just yet, but they're stuck between two mines. Do they want to try and contest, or does he want to save for buyback?
And Radiant at least have been able to stall this long enough for their buybacks to come up pretty shortly. You know, Arc Wardens is down till them over the Night Stalker, another 30 seconds. They're all of theirs for Radiants that are down are going to be up in the next 40. So, yeah, they've got enough gold as well. So they've stalled this game out long enough where Dire kind of had a win condition with the buybacks being on cooldown. I mean, Dire definitely, I should say, still in the lead.
They're committing. They've got the full... Oh, it's actually into a Mirana ultimate though. Got Boomy here, kind of on his own on the bottom side. He's not going to be punished for it, you would think. Ready to recall in the TA whenever he needs, but TA is actually just going to stick pretty close by. Just putting up this Observer Ward, so they've got a little bit of understanding. Any gems right now on the Radiant side? It's just on the Mirana, and Destrus wasn't quite in range to be able to see that one.
Double damage empowers me.
All about Roche. That's what it is. Fourth one, Aghanims. We're going to see the shard as well with the refresher. A big fight going to break out. Max still very far on the front line as well. Dodges out the arrow, has to pop the BKB early, but now with the chains, actually, Nico cancels the Rolling Thunder box, able to get rid of it with the Lotus Orb, but now they're going to try and jump away. KOX by trying to disrupt them. They're on top of the Coddle. It's a beautiful target if they can bring him down. Nico's even got the DD as well. No buyback available here from the Coddle, but now, oh, look at the multicast coming through. Night Stalker, Abyssal Blade box, able to close the distance, so it's a 1 for 2. Undying buys back there. Night Stalker's got his own as well, holding it at the moment, but guess who's back up? Roshan, the fourth one of the game.
Well, guess who's back in the house, that's for sure. They just checked it with the Pango Courier, but, you know, that's how fickle Roshan can be. He can just pop up whenever you don't expect him. You got level 30 now on the Gyrocopter as well, so that extra homing missile stun going to coordinate nicely together with the homing missile charges. And, well, that's all scouted out for sure. And even more movement speed.
Roshan hasn't fallen to the dark forever.
Alright, who gets what?
Pango picked up. He's got 2 cheeses now.
He's got the Ags as well, it looks like.
Yep.
Yeah. That's nice with the Abyssal Blade. What talent did he go? Yeah, he went the Rolling Thunder duration instead of the Shield Crash. Okay.
Yep.
So we got the Ages on Tino. He's also holding the Refresher Shard as well. I wonder if they just give that over to the Coddle. or if they want potentially double BKB, double Meld, double Hex. We'll see.
I'm going to be
Even
watching Mac in these fights because he's just picked up a refresher shard, and refresher orb, and he still has 6,000 gold on top of that. So he is a very rich boy. It is kind of like these team fights have been pretty friggin' hectic. Let's be real. So are you going to be able to get off your full complement of spells and your refresher, you know, move it into your inventory, wait the 6 seconds, be able to get it off again? It feels like they've got some pretty good burst potential on Galaxy RACER's side if they're able to get their positioning right.
Yep. Yeah, it feels like, though, again, I'm still just worried that, look at the rest of the cores, like even Ogre's farm is through the roof. It helps that he got that Aghanims earlier from the Roche, but like the Coddle as well, so all the supports on Dire just have so much net worth, and their impact is kind of showing right now over the supports. But I will say, like, if you jump the Undying wherein he already gets Tombstone up, and now he's got also the level 20, so Undying late game can be a little bit scary with these Tombstones.
You are looking good.
I mean, 25 is just so annoying on an Undying as well,
Yeah.
you know? What are you, Wraith King?
It's Mirana going for a Solar Crest, so yeah, just buffing up Alacrity. That's all the damage right now, pretty much. So do whatever you can to get some farm, and wonder what he wants to go for as well. What do you think the next item could be for the Arc Wardians? You already got that Moon Shard. No Ags, Blessing, or Shard.
I mean, I feel like the Shard is very useful. A, it doesn't take up an item slot, and B, just being able to provide that magic resistance against a Gyrocopter and a Keeper of the Light, pretty effective.
Well, maybe this game can go long enough until we get 60 minutes. That's going to be our first tier 5 of the tournament, at least from us casting.
And we've got the Gyro just popping the Eternal Shroud into the backpack right now, so prioritizing the refresher. Has he finished up his Abyssal Blade just yet? He bought one part of it? No, he's bought the Boots of Travel increased recipe, so he just wants to be able to TP to heroes. So it's not enough that you've got a Coddle that can recall you anywhere on a 15-second cooldown. Now you're just able to TP right onto heroes. Is he even just going to sell this Eternal Shroud? He sold something else. I didn't see what it was.
Yeah, I didn't see what it was either.
Oh, was it the
Did he buy a bottle?
Wait.
He didn't. He just bought a bottle. He definitely did not have that in the inventory.
Yes, but the E-Blade was gone and then it came back.
Honestly,
I don't know. You can't buy an E-Blade back from the base.
Yeah.
Anyway, so maybe he just drops it and we didn't see it.
Well, it's very important though at this stage in the game, when you are the team ahead, when you have this opportunity to be able to take the power runes across the map. I mean, we've seen what a TA double damage rune can do. So if you at least have that control, maybe you get a nice little rune factor that can play off pretty big, even like an Arcane for an example, for like a Gyro. That'd be nice.
Precious bounty.
Arc Warden's very close to that level 30, well, 29, pretty much just hit the 29. So the second highest in the game, so once he's able to hit that 30, extra range, cooldown reduction could be pretty nice, even the life steal.
It just goes to show the strength of this Arc Warden when, you know, you've got a team that's 40k net worth ahead, all outer towers taken, and you feel you cannot push into this high ground. They've got 2 cheeses. It's ridiculous.
Ah, yes. Arc Warden.
I mean, what are they waiting for, realistically? Like, 60 minute, it has to be the tier 5 items, considering they've been able to somewhat choke them out of the base. I say that as a full-on smoke happens. So they're trying to make an aggressive movement happen during this nighttime for KYXY, and before that 60-minute mark does come up.
They know age is about to tick out as well. They've got the timer, 5 seconds until it does. But Dire, they're coming through top as well, Alacrity. Well, if you lose the Tempest double at the start, could be a bit worrisome. They drop the ward down. They want to take the fight though. KYXY is going to blink the back, but a nice disengage from Boomy. Now he's going to be careful. He doesn't even pop the BKB as well. Looks like he's just going to have to probably force a buyback if a massive team fight continues to break out.
I don't know about that one. You had 2 heroes go the exact opposite way. The Undying got out of dodge. Nightstalker went forward, and I mean, yeah, forcing a buyback, pretty big deal. You've still got 30 seconds left until that Dark Ascension is available again, so A little bit concerned.
As long as they can deal with the base though. Arc Warden's such an incredible hero to be able to defend. Ember as well. And it looks like they're not going to go up, so yeah, they lose that advantage they had with the extra life. Night Stalker is going to be able to hold this buyback. Looks like Dire just resetting. Very close to these extra neutral items getting picked up.
And the name of the game is changing a little bit for Omega. They're like, all right, Coddle, you've got buyback. You're on split pushing duty.
Oh, he's got that 25 talent as well, the Blinding Light stun.
Really nice to have. Doesn't have the synergy with the Blinding Light cooldown. Of course, cast range is effective all the time, so it makes a lot more sense to be able to go that at level 15.
Even TML's 25, he's got that fire blast damage. Man, this Ogre could be an issue. Like, you've got the Aghanims, even the fire shield as well, so just some nice protection. You know, we see this stun lock. I mean, it's, you know, it could be pretty devastating, especially with that extra damage from the talent now.
I just want to see the multicast fire shield go off, you know?
What's the cooldown on it? 16, okay.
All right, it's got to be just... What's the ward situation like right now? Like, I feel like the map is just completely dark on both sides.
Oh yeah.
So, I guess they've got a couple of wards that they've just placed up, but yeah, for Radiant, they are living on their own little island here. This is like Attack on Titan, and the wall is the base, the high ground.
Well, Radiant, they're going out. They know that the outpost is going to be available to claim relatively shortly. The only issue is that you don't have any wards outside the base, and the Dire are completely aware of their positioning right now. And now back in the base you go. So that's the issue with placing a ward in such a common spot like that. It's more than likely it's going to reveal the smoke, and well, now you can't just stand your ground. And they use that smoke now where you can't contest the outpost, it feels like. And I thought they'd either use the smoke for the outpost or for the T5s just to get outside the base. Okay, we're X by one. Again, this time we'll find Boom before the blink. But first up, no, Boomy is actually stuck on the high ground here. They've got the Nullify as well. Needs to get to Will Wiswap now with Wristblade Bok as well. Still, Cole pays the price. They're in top of them, however. Where's Alacrity? They haven't been able to find the Arc Water on top of the backline. Ember gets brought down with the chain lockdown from the Templar Assassin. 2-4s. They do have buybacks, but Max in trouble. Alacrity's actually going to blink up the high ground. Look at him go with the blink. It's just so much damage. Just first blink with the axe. It's too much for them to deal with. They get the multicast with the BKB. Tino wants to try and bring him down. He's going to be able to be successful. Now with the Will is finally blocked. Tino's just doing so much damage. This swift blink. Oh, it's too much for them to deal with. But the chains force gets out of the arrow. Tino still protected with a whiz. And they're going to be careful because they just brought back there this melt hit bash, but they deal with him. He doesn't have that extra life. Brock's able to rejoin them as well. Stormcrafter needs to try and get away. Blink forward. Abyssal Blade. Nico has one more remnant, but Radiant back inside they go, scurrying in. A lot of buybacks forced out, but you just see, man, the swift leads from both teams. The Arc Warden did so much damage, but the importance of killing the Coddle. They got Boomy at the start, but dropping that Will-O-Wisp on the buyback when the TA could just go to work.
This is a big deal, though. You got the buyback out of Alacrity. A win condition has been enabled. Oh, we're going to see a big boy with that Giant's Ring.
What the heck? So I haven't seen T5 with this new change as well. So there's a couple of experiments with the items, but have not seen them in action. And even, oh my god, TA's got the upgraded death, so stupid. What's happening right now? It's just Alacrity's tap is double.
I feel like they have to make a play for some of these neutral items, you know?
Yep.
It's the only way you're going to stand a chance, especially now that the... Oof. Getting a little ballsy here with Alacrity.
Yeah, Alacrity, sure. Jeez. Can the Tempest double pick up neutral items?
I don't believe so.
Oh, Alacrity? Give me scaring me a little bit. Well, they know TA's down.
There's no damage to be able to pick him off, although they're kind of thinking about it. They call him in. And so that's the double going to be going down. Is there anyone that didn't buy back on Radiant's side? Undying. Cool. He's not one that can really easily take some of these neutral items. Maybe it's going to be up to the Mirana, you know? Destrus, he's got buyback in 10 gold. maybe a Moonlight Shadow out onto the dire side of the map, start to farm up. It just feels so important. You know, you're going to be able to quickly take out some of these camps, even the small camps, you know?
What's this, 5th Roach of the game or some shit?
Yes it is.
So who gets the eggs? Who gets a refresher? Who doesn't have it? Mac doesn't. Brock does. Tino doesn't as well.
I mean,
Alright, so
yeah. Extra movement, I guess, is never a bad thing.
oh, get the ancient stack while they're roaching.
Ooh, I mean, they've got the trap there though underneath the stack. So if they were to make any sort of attempt, they would know exactly what's going on. 60k net worth lead, by the way, with still a 13% chance Dota Plus is giving them. That is very generous, I would say. They're going right on
jumping. They won't take the fight. Nice tombstone up on the high, but Amber's just gonna get melted. It doesn't have a buyback here. Buck once again in the choke point with the Rolling Thunder. Oh, going outside the base to take a fight there, and now it's all up to Arc Warden without the Ember. Boomy, gotta be careful. 3 arrows gonna fly. They have to drop the Will-O-Wisp very defensively here.
I just can't understand why you would ever leave your base. Like, sure, if you're taking a neutral item attempt just so that you're not horribly under-geared relative to what the enemy team has.
What the hell? This giant
He's a big
boy. Look at him.
Battle cruiser operational.
Just rips him. Gee, this dude's gigantic.
That's what you love to see. You love to see the blood. He wasn't even bloodlusted. Give him the bloodlust, give him the BKB, give him the Giant's Ring.
He pops Refresher. So the orb still has the shard. He actually looks like a Zeppelin when he's that big. When he pops the Giant Ring, got bloodlust, BKB, he's going to be gigantic. At least there's still a lot of racks available, mid and bot, so they're probably just going to have to give up top here. See, Alacrity's trying to deal with the other lanes.
I'm going to need to see the bloodlust on this Gyro just for the meat potential, CML.
Buck, who they found down to the southern side here. Boom's going to get real, but the TP and Tino, they're straight on top of Alacrity with the lab to it's down, that's it. We just see time and time again this game that Boomy's cuddle was so goddamn important. I don't care about his KDA 110-28. The fact of these TPs from this cuddle, that is why we're seeing this hero so much through all the regions, and it just enabled Omega so heavily to be able to
Watching seasons change, our roads were lined with adventure. Mountains in the way couldn't keep us from the sea. Here we stand, open arms. This is home where we are, ever strong in the world that we made. I still hear you in the breeze, see your shadows in the trees, holding on memories. You're gonna break my heart. You're gonna tear it apart. No matter what you do, I'll still be there for you.
Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team.
Alright, let's do it. You ready?
Radiant team pick.
Keeper of the light.
Yep, 8 seconds.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Yes.
Legion, welcome back. We had a very action-packed game one. We are also back with the meme lord Denog. We got another beautiful green screen background, a interesting looking gyrocopter. It's actually so funny.
Play. I don't want to hear you laughing at anything, but it's going to take a lot of work to match what Omega's gyro was able to do in that game one. I didn't see the full meme. I need to see the Giant's Ring. I need the BKB. I need the Bloodlust. I need it all. Just wasn't there.
God damn it. He was a mini big gyro.
He had 2 out of 3.
If that works. A mini. Yeah.
But not enough.
Close enough.
They got the Keeper alive again, though. I love it. You know, it is, in my opinion, one of the top 5 heroes of this current patch. It's just, how do you fit it into your draft? With a Keeper of the Light, with a gyrocopter, works pretty damn well. Go back and do it again. And the thing is, you can just run the gyro normally. They were forced to run the gyro in the mid lane because TA just didn't want to go up against the Ember Spirit. So now you've even got the luxury of being able to be flexible with your laning selection.
Remaining.
I feel like they need another reliable stun
remaining.
as well for the Mirana. We've seen it time and time again, you know. With a Legion Commander, wasn't great. With a Night Stalker, sure, you've got the slow from the Void. Not enough. You need a stun. You need a... I mean, it was a Sand King that wasn't in lane, and I think that's still pretty fine. You know, Sand King is a lot better hero than it used to be, just because finally you've been able to cancel your epicenter cast. I think it's ridiculous that you had heroes like Pangolier and Dark Willow that for so long were able to just pump fake their ultimates, and Sand King, if you just start to commit, it's over. So a much needed change, and I really rate the hero right now.
Remaining.
Will they go for the Void Spirit? At least that's going to give them some mine away. I think it's not instant though. Are you worried that like you kind of reliant on now the Yules to set up for the Remnant and then for the Arrow? Were you wanting something to be a little bit faster instead?
I think speed is always the name of the game in Dota, right? Like it's well, in any esport actually. Like you just think of all of the different ways to play. There's a reason that in StarCraft, like proxy racks is a thing and Zerg rushing is a thing. There's a reason that in Hearthstone it always seems to be the zoo meta that ends up taking over the real aggro decks. It's the same sort of thing with Dota. Like unless it's the meta where it's like, all right, just wait for a Spectre to become super tanky and eventually he'll just win us the game by being a Spectre. You're going to be winning by fast Dota most of the time. And Spectre ain't in the meta right now, so why not just go for speed?
So I'm intrigued how Omega want to try and play the gyro. I was very impressed with Mac's performance picking it up and playing in the mid lane. If they want to continue to do the same thing here, they definitely can. We've always seen Coddle Gyro being a very strong suit. Is the Void Spirit Is it just, I mean, already, I guess, Omega lacking a lot of extra control now because the missile, you're going to be able to see it coming with the Dissimulate. If it is the Gyro mid versus the Void Spirit, though, how do you feel like that matchup will fare?
I think we might go into one of these issues where the Void Spirit does need to go and max out the Dissimulate because, you know, your Resonant Pulse, that blocks physical damage, and that is not what Gyro is doing to harass you. Gyro has one of the worst physical damages in the entire game to start it off. So he's going to be spamming out those Rocket Barrages, again, if it is Gyro mid. Or they could just look to run the Void Spirit in the off lane. You know, it's not a guaranteed stun that's going to land every single time, but if you do land it, it is guaranteed, if that makes sense. Like, it's not a reliable setup, but if it's there, you're going to get the stun off.
5 seconds remaining.
Well, they go back for the Ogre. It really feels like 343's kind of got some heroes that he just plays, and that's kind of it.
Radiant team pick.
I've yet to see him really shine just yet, you know, 343. I feel like a couple of those times, even in that last fight, I think it was him that kind of baited out the rest of his team because he went forward toward the high ground for whatever reason when you're going up against an Aegis without a buyback on a bunch of your cores. And he got 4-star forward, and that's what caused them to want to take that fight. You know, the Ember Spirit ends up going down. There's that Sand King, baby. I love to see it.
Yeah, they've got a lot of stuns now, which we kind of had a bit of a lack in that regard in the last game, but now at least we see Galaxy Racer kind of turn that one on its head. And Mega have a incredible amount of team. Oh god, not an Alchemist. You're already one game up. Don't do it to them.
I mean, it's not an amazing Alchemist game. They've got some decent burst potential. You know, if you're able to lock him down, like you mentioned, there's a lot of stuns, and you know, you just get on point with the Void Spirit. You get combo together with Yule Scepter, with the Astral Spirit. Combo that together with a stun. He's dead. You know, a lot of the damage that they're putting out is magical, so the blind isn't going to be able to do all that much against it. Even the Void Spirit, right? You blind the Void Spirit, sure, you might reduce the Astral Step damage and just the pure right click, but everything else, it's all magical. So yeah, I think you just need something that's able to, you know, get aggressive real early on. They don't have any dispels either, so they might even go for something like a Darkseer on Omega Esports. We've seen back in the day across various TIs, you know, Darkseer Alchemist is one of those things that just enables him to get really aggressive super early on. You know, you can go fully into this damage build and not have to worry too much about your mobility.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, that's definitely the nice thing where we see it's always a little bit of an issue where Alk doesn't really have that factor of the mobility. Big, beefy boy, but what he's lacking. So what are we looking for? Omega still could run the Brew as a 5 if they want to, and then play him as a 3, because we did see Boomy playing the Coddle as the 4 in last game.
I think Coddle has to be a 4. Like, it doesn't fit the niche for a 5 right now, and like you're just way too greedy with the amount of net worth that you need on it. You've got the tools to get there, but you definitely need someone to make space for you, and I don't think there's too many better space creators right now than the Brewmaster. Probably only like Clockwork is the one that's going to rival that. And when you're against these heroes that are able to get out of something like, you know, a hookshot, Void Spirit can, Sand King can, Mirana can, I think Brewmaster is just fine.
Might want someone who's going to be able to protect the Elk. I think that's the big factor. If you can give the Alchemist a really good time, enable him. I do like at least Galaxy Racer's lineup to infiltrate super early. Like, these heroes can definitely just run at you and start brawling before Omega really want to come online. And the issue is that Brew's going to be a bit reliant on your ultimate cooldown. You know, the Coddle damage can be a bit lacking early. You do kind of buff someone else's damage, though. So I feel like Omega here, you know, whether they go for a 5, I think it really needs to be a nice laning support to protect the Elk, or a 3 who can then be able to join fights early.
And I also really like the Monkey King being banned out by Omega Esports, because A, it's a really strong hero. B, you've got good team fight that's going to synergize really well with all of the AoE damage that you've got. And C, it actually has a form of true strike with the boundless strike as well. So even if you get a blinding light off, you're not going to be able to make full use out of the mischance, I guess you can call. So that's really it for me. It's heroes that can do something to the Alchemist in a quick fashion while you're blinded, because we've seen that Boomy has been very good at a lot of what his teamfight positioning, his ability usage. Morphling can do damage to an Alchemist, you know? It's nice to be able to steal morph into a gyrocopter as well.
Definitely. That is an awesome elk set. I've not seen that one.
I think that's...
Dude's a Viking.
I want to say it's one of the new ones. Is it like a Dota Plus shard set?
Oh, is it really?
Maybe.
That's cool. I like that one.
I might be wrong.
Tenno balling out. Well, we get to see Alacrity's Morphling as well. So once again, Nico playing the mid lane. The Bloodseek, I feel like heavily deals with Nico. We saw, I think in our past couple of series where that Void, the actual step distance, even maxed out, is just a little bit shorter than the damage tick to be able to get out of the rupture kind of damage range. So it's can make it very awkward with how you play here for Nico. Got to be very aware of when the rupture's used and when it's not. Do you like Galaxy going for the Morphling here? Yes, it's super good versus the Gyrocopter being able to utilize that replicate, but is it that it's a hero that's not going to come online as fast here to run over the Elk?
I think it can come online fast enough, but I don't think you can afford to go for the Manta style. I think you just need to rush that E-Blade. You need to focus the Alchemist every single time, keep picking him off and make sure that he doesn't get that early net worth lead, and then use the gold that you get from those kills to be able to go into your, you know, more stable stats items like Manta and beyond.
All right, well, see if Alacrity's... how you can even play around with the Aghanims as well eventually, because you got the Sand King. That's another nice factor of, we've always seen that be a devastating combo once it gets picked up.
I still feel like with Mac though, like, you know, traditionally you see the Morphling picked into the Gyrocopter because you want to steal that flak cannon, but
yeah, definitely
with the magic damage that they're going to go, it actually synergizes even better for Galaxy Racer, because you're going to be going, I'm assuming they're going to be going this E-Blade to be able to burst down the Alchemist really quickly, and then if you've got the E-Blade, you can morph into the Gyrocopter, then you've also got the Rocket Barrage damage on top of that. So it's a lot of magic damage really quickly.
I'm just excited that we get to see the Coddle again, which I was so surprised it didn't get banned out, and also Gyro played by Mac in the mid lane. I was very impressed. We were speaking about it after that game. Well, we a bit of a break there. I thought that Gyro's damage was honestly going to fall off towards the later stages, and I was very much surprised. Mac was just a absolute boss on this hero, and you know, I kind of hope we get to see him be a gigantic little, you know, home and dude again. I was similar to your background.
He doesn't have the Ogre on his team now, though, this time. That's the only issue. So what we could see is the Morphling get the Giant's Ring, and then make get Bloodlusted, and then morph into the Gyrocopter. So it's like a... I keep making these StarCraft references, but it's like for anyone that watched back in the day, Idra and losing to the hallucinations, you know? It's kind of similar to that with a Morphling. I'm just talking out my ass.
At least they're not sports related.
I mean, I can make those as well. I could also make wrestling references if you really wanted that.
Well, I mean, I'm a sports fan too, so you could probably pull them off, but apparently when you try and bring up sports references in the Dota cast, it doesn't go too well.
Especially Australian ones, you know? Like, if I start talking about Alan Border and all this sort of stuff, people are like, what the hell is this guy on about?
Who? What? Maybe there's some Aussies. It's a decent time. You know, Southeast Asia, we always get some Aussie boys watching.
True. And you'll have fans from India and Pakistan and Sri Lanka. So, maybe.
It's a classic. Oh boy.
So let's see how these laning matchups are going to go. We've got the... Oh, early aggression coming out. But we've got the Orb of Venom up here on the Ogre. It's going to be a hard time for him to catch Boomy. If he does, though, he should be able to do a decent job of him. But just look at that movement speed. 330 base. It just means that this Orb of Venom is completely useless. Oh, he's been able to right-click him once, though. Pretty big deal. With the Ignite on top of that.
Yeah, that's a Boomy, yeah, he's actually got a TPR. You see, once 343 actually gets on him with the Ignite and the Orb of Venom, then he does a lot of damage. Why did Omega try and go just shove out the lead with the Blood Right and the Illumina? Are they just wanting to force Alacrity to farm underneath the tower?
Force him to farm under the tower, but also you're a lineup that's really strong as soon as you get your levels, right? You can always guarantee that you're going to get a decent amount of farm on the Bloodseeker, and especially when you're combining it together with the Keeper of the Light, you just want to be able to spam out those Chakra Magics as quickly as possible. Been doing a pretty good job getting these last hits though, Alacrity, has to be said. Forced to rotate forwards, so he's going to take the brunt of that Illuminate damage, but not get silenced. You can see here, he's very believing in his own ability to be able to position himself. Tino might be in a little bit of trouble on this top side, though. They're committing heavily. Yeah, there it is.
Able to, I'm like, for a second, they got so unlucky because the Burrow tried to set up for the arrow, but the creep tanked it. Just didn't matter, though. And we see... Well, the Brewers are 5. How do you feel like Brew's going to be able to protect the Alchemist? Is it not as a defensive as support maybe they need for Tino?
I mean, on the laning stage, it does stuff all in the laning stage. Once the team fights start to happen and you are level 6, you know, you've got much more of that defensive capabilities, but it's just about getting there, especially against, like I keep saying, the guaranteed stun combination that you've got here. And as these levels start to ramp up as well on KOXY, you're just going to get more range on that Burrow Strike to be able to catch him out.
So is this a lane where you think CML just has to be constantly playing for the pull and just allowing Tino to farm under the tower? What was that acid? What?
I don't know, man. Tino has been using some weird spells, I have to say.
But yeah, he ate the 2 tangos at the start of the last game, and no, he's just chucking a spray down for nothing. You saw the ping as well. They're like, what the heck? So funny.
I wouldn't let that fly in my pubs. I'd be like, what are you doing?
Just an instant ping.
A very positive player, you know. Max getting a little bit of harassed in this mid lane. He's going to be forced to back up somewhat. He's already forced by another set of tangos from the harass coming out from Nico, so I think he's been doing a really good job, despite the fact that, you know, like I mentioned before, all that magic damage, Resonant Pulse doesn't really care about it.
Mac, actually, he's going to eat the Dissimulate now with the Resonant Pulse, but he's going to be able to keep his life and spot the fire. We do see CML fall, though, so this is, I mean, we saw yesterday the Sand King and the Mirana have such a good lane, and then it really enabled the Mirana, and then we saw after that game they picked the Mirana but without a stun setup, and it just fell on its head. And it's kind of similar already. You know, we've seen 2 games on both sides where you've got a Sand King Mirana and then a Mirana without a stun, and it's just completely night and day. Like, your hero just thrives with at least someone to enable you.
You can actually snowball. You can carry the game on your own. And again, this Zone of Shadows build, I like it. This is what you want to see. Just more and more harass coming through. They've been able to get 1 stack up here of the small camp. So Tino, if he gets the luxury to be able to secure that, he's going to be feeling pretty happy. But again, he's just forced underneath his tower.
Already like as well that last game we saw a lot of emphasis from Boomy to be able to make some stacks in the jungle. There's already a double at the Ancient and a double at the Heart as well. So this is a nice thing, Boomy having 375 movement speed. And you've also, you know, Bok is not really going to get pressured. Morphling, not someone who can... If it's a really good lane and you're solo, then you can definitely shove him out, but at least Morphling kind of gets some CS with the Blood Riot.
I'm liking this from 343 as well. He's making a really aggressive rotation, but I think it's needed. A, you give Morphling space, because right now Alchemist is having a horrible time, and you don't want to let the Alchemist team get more than 2 bounty runes every single time.
CMO. Oh, there we go. Burrow combo. And I love that Destress is getting all the kills. Whether he's meaning to or not, this the Spirit Vessel is going to be so incredibly important in this game to deal with the Alchemist throughout the early stages.
Yeah, for sure. Even the Gyrocopter, if he extends too far forward, right? Like, it's a good amount of damage super early on. CML has been reasonable with his positioning in these. You know, he's even body blocked a couple of these arrows that have been aiming for Tino's Alchemist. And, oh man, look, even this vision coming through here. been able to place it up so they know that the Alchemist has been pulled back towards the jungle. They can see the stacks that are starting to form. Destrus is probably just going to walk into the... Oh, is he going to need to use the leap to get there? Yep, he just body blocks it up. TP's back to base. He's done his job.
Has been very impressed with how Destrus has been playing so far throughout the start of this game. And man, Radiant are looking really good in the last hits as well. Sanking on top, they've already forced the Elk out. So this has mean KYXY is going to have a very, very fast blink if he wants to go down that route. And it's also shoving the wave in when you got a catapult. This tower is going to end up dying here.
Top tower is under attack.
Doing a great job.
Dire's structures are fortified.
It turns out stuns make the
Dire's
game
top
really
tower
easy.
is under
You know,
attack.
pick your stuns in pubs. All you need.
I would say it has to be one of the easiest ways to play Dota.
Dire's top tower.
It's so basic, but you don't draft stuns, then man, Dota feels incredibly hard to play.
Yeah. The old Alliance roster, now Team Liquid, were just like, look, we just draft more stuns than people, and we win because of it. Makes sense to me. They've been able to get another couple of stacks off here with the Keeper of the Light stacking up the Ancient stack. Now you've reached that coveted level 6 as well on the Alchemist, and even Lux out getting the Possessed Mask, so he's just going to be able to stay in the jungle, not worry all too much about it, but the downside is KYXY, he is free farming top side.
Dire are
Yeah, and they're not really been putting much pressure on top of some of the side lanes as well. Like, see the Morphs having a good time, even mid. You don't have the impact. Like, it's a very defensive kind of position for where Coddle is just putting a lot of emphasis on making stacks and securing the Elk. So it means that Galaxy RACER have to really ramp up the pressure, and they're going to do just that. So the arrow's going to be off the mark, but still Nico with the double damage rune, and with the help of the rest of the supports here, are going to be able to dive the Gyrocopter under the tower. But Bok and Boomy will rotate in. Looks like the Ogre, unfortunately, will end up falling. Even the Sand King's going to show up here as well.
Yeah, just that lingering thirst movement speed able to get him away. He's going to be able to grab up another one of these runes, but this is exactly what the 3 heroes on Galaxy RACER need to be doing. You know, sure, it costs the life of the Yogo Magi, but Sand King, he's just trying to rush this Blink Dagger ASAP. He's very close, only about 700 gold away. They're going to be catching out Brewmaster, trying to give it over to KYXY. Yeah, because that Blink Dagger is really what's going to enable this aggressive movement. Like I was thinking as well, first item E-Blade is what they're going on Alacrity.
Yeah, immense amount of burst is going to be able to come through, and well, now if the Bloodseeker, Alacrity being at level 7 now, he's just free farming. Nothing really Bok can do. At least if there's a wave in, he'll be able to get a little bit of farm onto the tower for the Bloodseeker.
And going into the Claymore on this Alchemist, so you'd assume that's that Battle Fury just to try and recover in any way possible, but Battle Fury gives no stats, so if you're getting